Suns fans, this is Suns latest. I am Rich Rubin. I'm sorry, I just read one of your comments, and we're gonna get to it later. It just cracked me up. And by the way, thank you for your comments, and we are well over 550 subscribers. Thank you so much for that. Let's get to it. Quote of the day: uh, "It's just a job. Grass grows, birds fly, waves pound the sand. I beat people up." End quote. That's from Muhammad Ali. Hey, if that's your job, if you got a sports quote you want to share and you'd like me to read it on Sun's Latest, I would be happy to. Doesn't have to be a sports quote, but it should relate to sports or sporting endeavors. Um, uh, yeah, so all right, not a ton of news. We're gearing up for preseason, but there are a few what they're calling sit-down interviews with new Suns players. Common Man Malawach, Kimin Malawach's nickname is Man Man, or Man Man. I think it's Man Man. So sit-down interviews with a couple of new Suns players. Malawach, Kobe Brea, and Rasheer Fleming are now up at the Suns.com YouTube page. And this is a good way to get to know these young guys who we don't know a ton about other than they're going to kick butt for the Suns this year. I am quietly and low-key high on Kobe Brea. Many calling him the best shooter to come out of the draft. And that's from the peers and that's from the scouts. And he's rangy, and he's 6'6", and it looks like he could develop into a pretty nice player for the Suns. The Suns only have 9 nationally televised games, no Christmas game. I get it. We'll make them eat their words later. Only one ESPN game. The rest are on NBC and or Peacock. Saturday, November 8th, at the Clippers on ESPN. That's the only ESPN game. The rest are on NBC and or Peacock. Tuesday, November 8th, at Trailblazers. Monday, November 24th, against the Rockets in Phoenix on Peacock. I think that's the first KD game. I think that's the first time the Rockets come back to see the Suns. Monday, December 1st, at Lakers on Peacock. Did I mention that these are on NBC or Peacock? I'll stop mentioning that. Tuesday, February 3rd at Trailblazers. Tuesday, March 3rd at Kings. Monday, March 16th at Celtics. Tuesday, March 24th, Nuggets at Suns on NBC Peacock. I keep saying to myself, I'm going to try to get in for that one. That's my dad's birthday, and bring him to that Nuggets game. I got to see Joker before I die. I got to see him live, right? You got to see the great ones live before you die. And Tuesday, April 7th, Rockets at Suns. Okay, so that's all we got now. So here was something that always pops into my head when I think about, well, what do we need? We need another point guard. And it's not a matter of we have Gillespie and we're going to see what Jalen Green can do and maybe Goodwin and Butler. Look, I like all the possibilities, and I think we're probably going to be okay. I would like a little insurance, and insurance comes with a proven veteran who knows what he's doing, who's been around the block, and is still here. Spencer Dinwiddie came to the league in 2014. He is still going. He is still tough. He signed a 1-year contract with the Hornets last July. A 1-year contract don't mean nothing. He wants to go. They want him gone. We want him. I mean, a 1-year contract is easy to deal with. I don't care what our financial situation is. And I bring him up because the players who kicked your butt in the playoffs that you weren't expecting to stick in your head a long time. Mario Elie is a good example of that. Dinwiddie kicked our butt as a Maverick off the bench in 2022. What did he have, like 24 points in 10 minutes? God, he ruined us as much as Luka did. Dinwiddie was the main dude for that Maverick team against us. He is a combo guard. You don't hear that too much. You hear about guys that can possibly be combo guards, but Dinwiddie 100% is a combo guard. And we need a guy that can handle point guard duties off the bench, specifically as a bench player. I don't want him starting. Adequate defender, better than average defender. Not an all-defensive team selection, but he's not a matador either. He's a great off-the-bench guy and not shy about taking end-of-game shots. So it's kind of funny, he came in with some fanfare. He spent about a half a year in the G League, and then he really kind of built a name for himself on his first go-around with the Nets. The Mavericks looked at him twice. The Lakers grabbed him. It's like everybody could use a Dinwiddie. So it really is one of those players that, I don't know, but I would like a veteran point guard presence on the bench. He can get hot, and I know Westbrook is available. But as far as what the Suns need and a guy that will immediately adapt to what you're trying to do, I'd rather have Spencer Dinwiddie than almost any other veteran guard for the Suns right now. I'd like to know what you think in the comments. And here are some of the comments that we got for today. At Mayao Food Now, I hope I'm saying your name right. If I'm not saying your name right, phonetically comment so I can figure this one out. I appreciate that. And thank you for your comments. They make Suns latest a lot of fun. Mark Williams is precious with so few high quality centers around. We've talked about this before. Mark Williams has a shot to be a top 15, possibly a top 10 center in the league. Yes, because the numbers are low, but when he showed up and when he's not injured, Mark Williams has got a lot of skill. He's long. He's a good rim protector. Not afraid. He's almost one of those big dudes that can kind of create his own shot. So to me personally, I like Mark Williams. And then Mia Food now goes on to say, to me personally, Shawn Kemp is the greatest power forward of all time. I always love when people say, well, to me personally. And it's like, well, yeah, obviously, you're not giving my personal opinion. But according to the eye test, hey, as far as an eye candy basketball player, Shawn Kemp is it. Shawn Kemp was a beast. Oh my God, Shawn Kemp was really, really good to watch. But a lot of what Shawn Kemp did based on the eye test didn't really translate into sustainable winning. The Sonics gave the Bulls hell in the finals the year that they got there, and nobody could ever really do anything with Shawn Kemp. I'm still going to stick to Tim Duncan as the greatest power forward ever. Shawn Kemp has an argument for top 10, maybe even higher than that. And Shawn Kemp was really fun to watch. From at Demi Lovato Variable, whatever your name is. All right, get another ball. This is what I was laughing at the top of Suns latest. Get another ball. Continue getting signatures. Besides, go get another ball, dude. It took like a year, maybe a year and a half to get that ball autographed. When I was a little tiny kid, I didn't have any money. I didn't have a car. I was little. I just walked around Phoenix with a Sharpie and a basketball. That's all I did to get that. And you could walk into a Suns practice when I was a kid, or you ran into Dale Schluter or Alvin Adams at a Humpty Dumpty restaurant on 7th Avenue, but that's not happening anymore. It's really hard to get a basketball autograph these days without paying for it, and I ain't going to do that. I will try to I still can't find it. I know it's around. It's in storage. My wife is going to scream at me for not cleaning out storage anyway. So I have the other ball somewhere, and we'll do those autographs. Besides you being very good at this, that's very nice. Thank you. I like to talk, obviously. You're an original Suns fan. I love that part of your show. I am an original Suns fan. Clearly, you are an original Suns fan. Proud to be an original Suns fan. Thank you for that, Demi Lovato Varabo, whatever your name is. Remember, comment and let me know if I'm saying your name wrong or right. I'm always saying I'm wrong. I apologize for that. At Hammerdon, Phoenix, loyal Suns latest commenter. People are spoiled these days. I remember when the only Suns content was the Arizona Republic and one column a week in the offseason. Yeah, because when there isn't a ton of news, you blow by it. All I got is the preseason, the Emirates Cup, when the regular season starts, our nationally televised game. If there isn't news, then don't report news. I should probably change that little headline from news to stuff. I don't know, but you know what I mean. It's like, no, I'm not going to report something that's not a possibility or a really interesting thought regarding the Suns. And if there's news, I'll give it to you. If not, not. So I'm extremely appreciative of your contribution, not just the great perspective, but the fact that you're not trying to sell me anything. I have nothing to sell you. Or sold out to the effing gamblers. Thanks, Rubin. Go Suns. Hammer done. You made my day. Thank you very much. Happy to talk about the Suns till I'm out of breath. At Gavin's Coopin, or Gavin Scoopin, or Scup. At Gavin, Suns are my team and have been for 25 years. Go Suns. But I'm not optimistic that Booker will be up there for a scoring title with the lack of shooting around him. You need elite shooting or multiple volume scorers around you. Otherwise, the D will be getting the ball out of your hands at every opportunity. Completely disagree with that. But we had Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant last year. I don't know how much more volume you need, but it didn't work. Now, to be fair, you need the right type of scorers. You need the primary scorer, and then you need a secondary scorer. So we have Jalen Green, who will be told, here is your role on the team. You are the secondary scorer, and you are going to facilitate. If not, we might trade you for Trae Young, which, whatever. I'm not saying that's going to happen. What I am saying is, at the very least, it looks like Coach Ott has an idea of what he wants to do. I also think if Mark Williams is healthy, you got another scorer. Ryan Dunn's three-point percentage has gone up. I don't think we're going to scorch the earth with our buckets and our offense. I just think it'll be fast-paced, and I think we'll get a lot of easier buckets than we did last year instead of just ISO KD, ISO Booker, ISO Beal. No matter what, it's going to be better. I really do think Book is going to just absolutely explode out of the gate this year. He was still number 9 in the league in scoring last year, and he had to defer to Kevin Durant. How good are you? if your teammate, if the number one option is the fifth leading scorer in the league, and you're number 9, Booker's going to be just fine. And Jalen Green, I really do believe this, will be a good compliment to him. At TJ-ES4IJ, not sure we need to go for Splash and Jonathan Kuminga. We're going to talk about Jonathan Kuminga until he's on another team, because it's still the number one rumor for the Suns, which means the Warriors have not stopped pushing their agenda. The Suns haven't, and JK's team, his crew, his team of agents and managers and PR people, they're not stopping that until he's in the situation he wants to be. He has been described, the Warriors, a YouTube analyst, as being very talented, but struggles to understand defensive concepts, plays. He's a better than average defender without really knowing what to do. Think Amari Stoudemire if he was a better defender. Amari Stoudemire had all the tools to be a defender, but cerebrally he couldn't figure it out, and he even said so. I think Kuminga could get there within the right system that he agrees with. Keep Oso and Grayson. They meet the scrappy, smart team player requirements that will complement Booker and Green's scoring. Kuminga talks like he should be the number one guy. Well, we've mentioned this before as far as any guy that thinks a professional athlete's ego, it needs to be out of control. It kind of does. At least on the court. They have to feel that they're the man. They have to feel that they're it. And I get that. And you got to remember, guys like Kuminga, any guy who's in the NBA, they were the best guy on their youth league team, their high school team, their JV team. They're usually the best guy on their college team. They're used to being the best. So I like that kind of confidence. I think that actually makes for great players. Kuminga talks like he should be the number one guy. I feel like he might be too much of a me first guy. I just like his nose for the basket. I like his athleticism. But I completely agree with you. I don't think he's the most coachable guy. And if you can't take direction from a guy like Steve Kerr, then maybe the problem is you. At Cloud Cover, 6479, Tim Duncan, yep, great player. But he made a clutch three-pointer against the Suns in 2008 playoffs. So in my vindictive opinion, he should be reduced to no better than honorable mention all time. I'm right there with you. I hate Tim Duncan. But he is top 5 all time, and he's arguably the greatest power forward of all time. I think he is. I still hate him as a basketball player and a Spur. But, man, Tim Duncan was good. At Ricky Rodriguez, I mentioned Tim Duncan recently, just as an off thought. And everybody has strong thoughts about Tim Duncan, especially if they're a Suns fan. At Ricky Rodriguez, Tim Duncan was a center bullying forwards. Hey, Ricky, Charles Barkley called Timmy a power forward and the best power forward ever, and the best power forward he ever played against, arguably one of the best players he ever played against. So did Kevin Garnett, so I'm going to go with the guys who are in the argument for greatest power forward ever who played against him. At Indian Alchemist, I pray Booker wins at least one chip with us. I pray it too. NBA. Okay, so, all right, let's wrap today's up with the 15. We are almost done with the 15, giving you the criteria. I've gone down the list, and now we're just I'm just waiting for certain comments for, multiple comments of one specific player who deserves to be on the 15. So what we're doing is the 15 are the 15 greatest Suns players of all time. They do have to meet a certain criteria, and we're going to get to that because we're almost done with the list. But right now we're just picking the 15. Then we will rank them, which is going to be hell. And then after we do that, actually before we rank them, we're going to have arguments, discrepancies, and complaints about, no, that guy shouldn't be there. There's a very good argument right now going on. That's the most popular one is KD should not be in the top 15 at all, and Hornacek should replace him. So we're there right now. Right now, the top 15 stands at Booker, Barkley, Kevin Durant, Steve Nash, KJ, Stoudemire, Chris Paul, Sean Marion, Walter Davis, Westphal, Connie Hawkins, Tom Chambers, Alvin Adams, and today we are going to put Dan Marley at number 14. Danny Manning got some love recently. Grant Hill got a lot of love recently. As much love as Grant Hill gets, his impact wasn't monumental. I freaking loved watching him. And I love that he basically resurrected his career as a Sun. And I will remember Grant Hill as a Sun as much as I remember him as a Piston. I just don't think, no matter how many people want him on that list, it makes sense. I think I'm speaking logic. Tell me I'm out of my mind. Jason Kidd gets a lot of love. Truck Robinson and Dick Van Arsdale have gotten a lot of love. And a little bit of love for Cedric Ceballos, who, what year was that? 94, 95. I go to a Laker game when they're still at the Forum, and the Lakers still had Vlade Divac. Barkley and Ceballos were healthy and playing on the Suns. And I am telling you, they annihilated that Laker team, but it was mostly Barkley, watching Sabalas do his cutback moves and his sneaky under the basket stuff. Cedric Sabalas was such a unique player. He could play power or small. He was finesse or power. He could shoot. He could dunk. There was something with him that really, if he hadn't been injured, because he became an all-star with the Lakers, he never played in the game because he got injured. He could have been something special right up there with a man. That would have been amazing to have him and Richard Dumas and Charles Barkley and Danny Manning all healthy at the same time. Who's going to stop that front line? Not us. So I love that Cedric Sabalas got some love. But today we are going to go with Thunder Dan freaking Marley. Do I really have to explain why? Huge, integral part of the Suns getting to the finals and the Suns giving the Bulls hell in '93 along with Barkley and KG. That was our big three. What an amazingly complimentary big three that was. Dan Marley, arguably one of the most popular players in the history of the Suns. When he was drafted out of Central Arkansas, is that right? No, that's Scottie Pippen. Central Illinois. He was drafted Central something, right? Remind me, tell me. I don't want to look it up right now. When he got drafted, he was booed. And Cotton Fitzsimmons, coach at the time, says, "You're all going to eat your words." And the late, great Cotton Fitzsimmons was right. And Dan Marley became Thunder Dan Marley, one of a few players that played the prime of his career with the Suns, went to the Heat, I think he went to the Cavs, and then came back. Westfall also came back later as well. Dan Marley is on the 15 at number 14. We got one more to go. Some players for thought who I think deserve it. Jason Kidd, Dick Van Arsdale, Jeff Hornacek, maybe Leandro Barbosa, maybe Charlie Scott. All right, we got the 14th. This has been Suns Latest. Let me know in the comments who you think gets the 15th spot, and we can move on and start with discrepancies, complaints, and discussions about who really does deserve to be on the 15. I'm Rich Rubin. Thank you for watching Suns Latest. I'll talk